Strategies and concepts discussed are for educational purposes only and do not represent specific investment, tax, or estate planning advice. Investing carries an inherent element of risk, and it is possible to lose principal and interest when investing in securities. No strategy can guarantee a profit or prevent a loss. The views expressed represent the personal opinions of the presenter or featured guests, not necessarily those of USA Financial or its affiliated subsidiaries. Any opinions or forecasting statements are subject to change at any time and without notice. John Cindia is an investment advisor representative of, and advisory services are offered through USA Financial Securities Corporation, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Life Stages Advisory is not affiliated with USA Financial Securities. Life Stages Advisory, Dean or Remington, or any guest we have are not affiliated with USA Financial Securities. Welcome to episode 62 of WTF, Wealth, Tax, and Finances. I'm your host, John Cindia, certified public accountant and personal financial specialist. I'm blessed with two guests today. That's Dean and Remington.
Say hello.
Hi, guys.
We join a lot. We're guests every episode.
They're my techo geeks is what it is, but they also have some millennial insight as Remington is looking up a couple of things on the NFTs, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. That's actually
Fix it.
It's just cardboard. It's a piece of cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Levin furniture or something. Wayside.
It's a prop. You can't say that. See?
Oh, we're not talking about that.
No, you have to cut that out. Today's going to be about NFTs, okay? What is that? Non-fungible tokens. You probably heard about it in the last month or two in the marketplace and everything. And I was still trying to get my head around it. We've talked to Remington and Dean amongst ourselves here as far as whether this is going to be viable or not. And to give you a little bit of insight, a guy named, what was the first one? Beeble. I think the guy's name was Beeble or something that had, he had never sold anything more than $100 as far as artwork. And he puts up with Christie's a piece that was called 5,000 Days, I believe, or something like that. Anyway, he had taken pictures for 5,000 days and put this on, scanned them all in, put them in a composite, and put it up. And within 2 or 3 weeks, the thing had shot to like $69 million. So another example was LeBron James running down a fast break and blocking a shot or something. I don't know. Anyway, that got like $100,000.
Yeah, that one's up for $200,000. There's another one for the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, $2.9 million.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to sell.
That was his first tweet or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want to hop into the old time machine here, somebody sold the Nyan Cat.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was.
$500,000.
Yeah. It's been around. Yeah, it's been around the internet for like 17 years or something. And what they said that they were going to put that on. Everybody had access to it, but somebody got there first and puts it in and becomes a digital copy. And even though everybody else can see it, the operative word in here is ownership. So the ownership is what seems to be getting the individuals an idea that this is going to be worth more money than what they eventually paid for it. So now you don't have a physical copy, it is a digital copy. And there again, you're going to have this held either on a Fire Stick or a disk, some other type of storage that you would have similar to a cryptocurrency in a wallet. And some of these also have the fact that once you click on, they may end up being able to generate revenue. Now, I'm not sure how much revenue you're going to have to click on to the 5,000 days to have him recoup $69 million.
It's going to take you a while.
They're going to take a little while. There's going to be a lot of clicks going on. But there again, I think this is part of the frothiness in the market, that there are so many dollars chasing so few decent investments at this point because everybody's worried about the bubble. And we're going to get into the next episode about bubbles and some other things
Ooh,
that
some
we're going to be
foreshadowing
talking
there.
about. What's that?
So you're doing some foreshadowing there. Ooh.
Yes,
Getting
so
fancy.
stick around for that. But on the topic here of these NFTs, the main thing is the ownership. And who is to say that anything is worth anything and bringing that value there? When you're looking at collectibles, whether you have Hot Wheels, or you've got sports cars, or just about anything, classic cars, anything, you've got something tangible, and it is one of a kind. So when you have something that is a digital copy and it's on the blockchain that is making the identification what it is as far as the ownership. So you've got a series of alphanumeric codes that is going to attach itself to that specific digital copy of whatever it is you have. So whether it's a picture, a painting,
They're even
I
doing
guess it's
music now here
music.
soon. Like they're saying Kings of Leon would be the first band to release an album
Mm-hmm.
as an NFT. But looking into it some more here, it looks like in addition to just the music that I think they're going to release anyways after the fact, it comes with like special perks. Like you get a vinyl, you get front row seats at concerts.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to feel out what this is, and right now it just seems like the individuals that are doing this are spending some of their crypto money.
Yeah, you have
Is
to
what it
connect your
sounds
wallet. I was looking into that too on how to just make an NFT.
Yeah.
You have to sync your wallet to. There's a few sites that you can run this on, like OpenSea, Rarible, and Mintable.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you connect your wallet to like any of those sites, you can then start uploading images or I think even music now.
So it's all going to be tied to the cryptocurrency.
Yeah, you have
somewhere.
to attach your wallet before you can upload anything.
So, I think there's an integration there of some of these people that may have been early on in the crypto phase, that they've got an excess amount of cryptocurrency that they don't know what to do with, and they figured since it was so easy to deal with, it wasn't like they went out and worked hard for the money.
Right.
I still have a feeling that we're looking for a pullback in this market, from the bubble that we will be talking about in another episode here coming up. But when you're starting to look at the increases of some of these cryptocurrencies and some of these the NFTs that are hot right now, it goes back into like the short play that was on a month or so ago, and that's still sort of hovering in the game there. Somebody still wants to play that out of Reddit. But when you start looking at this, there's been a lot of money on the sidelines for several years because people were skeptical of the market even 2, 3, 4 years ago that it was getting too high. And with all the stimulus being put back in to the economy, we had a flash crash in March of 2020. It came roaring back, though, fairly quickly, and it was sort of unprecedented to move almost 40% down and then to come back so quickly. It's unusual, for that obviously to happen. But there's so many different things happening now that is artificially propping the economy and the market and everything else up that people are looking at it to wondering why gold hasn't been moving. Well, gold is an inflation hedge, and we're about as far from having any inflation as you want to see anything. So it doesn't really make sense that gold would take off. Silver may be a situation eventually, just because of where it's used in the manufacturing process of so many different things. While it's still not clear as to how many are going to eventually be there, I think there's going to be a consolidation, and some of these are going to not be very viable. I think there's something like 5,000 or 6,000 different types of cryptos out there right now. And
they call it the Wild West.
Yeah, it's the Wild West of cryptocurrency or so. So, but I think that once we start looking at the viability of this stuff, that money that's on the sidelines right now, I think it's getting antsy from sort of being pent up. We've had a year of COVID that people haven't been able to do anything. And since they're not traveling, they're not doing anything, they're saving their money. And it's now becoming a thing that once you get bored and nothing's happening in the market, and the market's just going up for no reason except for the stimulus that's artificial, basically. And there's really there's no correlation with the economy and the stock market. Stock market's going up, but the economy is actually stagnant. And when you start looking at corporate earnings, some of them are having earnings mainly because of the stock buybacks. So if you start looking at it, there hasn't been a real true appreciation in any of the companies as far as true profitability. You're looking at EPS, earnings per share, that usually are standing around 17, 18, 19 on a percentage basis to getting up to 30, 40 on the EPS side. And when we start looking at numbers like that, we're getting way, way ahead of ourselves on some things there. And it's the same thing when you start to look at the earnings of the other technology stocks. They're just way ahead of themselves. There's been some correction on a few of the electric car makers, but when you start looking at everything else that's out there, the market's been going up. The stimulus is starting to hit. The individuals are putting more money into play into the stock market. They're not paying off bills. They're not doing certain things as far as spending. There is some travel going on now and everything, but there's a lot of different money coming in, and the little guy is coming up against the big guy and sort of creating a little bit of chaos in the markets. So I think while it's going to be short-lived, it's something to be aware of and be knowledgeable of exactly what's going on here. And you have to tread lightly with all this stuff because all of this goes back to what we talked about before is fear of missing out, the old FOMO, trying to get rich quick on all of these, putting your money in and dumping a lot of it. Don't go borrowing money, which some people are still doing. They're borrowing money to go into the market, and then you're pretty much leveraging something that instead of it going up, it's going to go down. And now you've exacerbated your situation. Not only did you lose that money, but now you've got another debt that you can't cover. So there's a lot of irrational thought going out here, and people are just getting caught up emotionally. You got to take a breath and step back and start realizing that, this could be just another phenomena. I really don't think this is going to be anything more than something short-lived or for a very small, specific niche market of these people that have way too much money and don't know what to do with it.
So you're saying I shouldn't buy an X-ray of William Shatner's teeth?
I just saw.
Well, you can do that.
He sold, I think it was, I just had it up. I think it was 100,000 trading cards of just various things that he's done, and they sold out in 9 minutes.
I just saw somebody sold a virtual house for, I think it was like $500,000. I don't know if that means you can put on a VR set and like go into this house, or it was just like the digital like blueprint of a house, but
see,
it's insane.
I'm just not, you guys are millennials and you can't make heads or tails of this.
I need something to do with all my winnings from what I've invested into the stock market. So I'm going to buy
$50 I've made. I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm going to go crazy on NFTs.
I'm an old fart and I can't see it. You guys are millennials and you can't see it. So
are we
missing something here or what?
We talked about this before we started about how the only thing that I could see being interesting with this is the sports aspect, about how like the NBA is starting to get in on it, and they're selling like highlight clips that you can have like the exclusive rights to. But even then, like I don't see that lasting for too long.
You could have. I don't see how it would have been just like you buying the exclusive rights to NFL films or anything else like that. If you want to buy it, you're going to have their films.
Right, but how many other people have that same clip that they've downloaded onto the computer
Yeah,
years
but
prior?
Yeah, and I mean, it also comes down to how many people want a clip of LeBron James against the Hornets on a breakaway dunk on the third quarter when they're up 15
Right,
points.
like eventually it's going to get down to like, all right, we've got a layup NFT here from this unknown guy, $10 million.
Yeah,
Like,
how's
no one's
that
going to buy
different?
that.
How different is that from the other 1,500 layups that same guy did?
It
It's
really
with a
needs to
different
be
team.
to garnish my interest, me specifically, or even probably people like you, John. It needs to be something that is collectible. You can't just NFT everything.
Exactly.
It loses its interest to me. It has to be something interesting, like I don't know, if it was something sports related, like something from the playoffs, or like like a home run to win a game or something, or a pass with 2 seconds left on the clock, and in
Kyrie
the Super
hitting
Bowl
that
or
three
something, or
and
like Kyrie
Steph
hitting the
Curry's.
3 in the 2016 NBA Finals. Like, it needs to be something worth purchasing.
Well, and if there was a photographer out there that had it and had a different shot from the floor of Kyrie or something like that,
Yeah.
and he had the only, the perfect shot or whatever, and he had that, I could see, maybe duplicating that. But I mean, what's the difference of him turning around and printing something as opposed to him saying, okay, I've got this NFT, it's worth this much. And then he shows it somewhere else, or I see a picture of that on the internet somewhere,
Well,
I've got something similar. It's like it's same as that 5,000 day picture. It is on there. We can print one off right now off the computer.
The only thing I'd say to that, 'cause
I own that piece. I don't care about the digital version.
Right.
I've got this. I got the same thing.
The only thing I'd say on that is, looking into this a little bit further, I saw that some artists, not all of them, but some of them were saying like, you'll get the high res version of this image, and then allegedly, like, you'd hope they'd follow through with it, but they're saying, I'm going to delete every trace of it after I give you the picture or whatever it is. But for unknown artists, that might work. But for like NBA clips, even if they pulled it, people are going to still have that. Like, there's no chance of getting rid of everything.
Oh, exactly. I just don't understand, like I said, you really have to be a narcissist to say that I have this. And, you're pretty much an idiot, I think, if you're turning around going,
I think
I have to have this. I have to have that one, and I've got that, and I own it.
if someone has a
Okay.
different take on this,
We would love to
to hear it. What is it? jcindia at lifestagesadvisory.com.
Or they
Yeah.
could leave a comment.
Yeah, you can leave a comment anywhere you want. You could put it on Google review. I don't care. I'm just interested to know.
Oh, you know what they can do real quick? They can go on Apple Podcasts, listen to this episode again, and then leave a review with their question in it.
Or
Yes.
on
Possibly.
YouTube.
Or YouTube
or
works.
on YouTube. YouTube works.
Listen to
But
us on Apple
yeah, I
Podcast.
think honestly, I need a different take, because I've had this conversation with other people too, and it's the same way. Like, everyone's like, people are doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It sounds like it's like the same thing with like rich people buying art to like avoid taxes. It's
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother story. But
I could see this taking off. Like I was telling you, there's like a 1 in 100 million chance that it becomes like long lasting.
Mhm.
And I mostly say that because big companies are getting into it, and like influencers on YouTube are kind of ironically making their own NFTs, and they're making decent money off of it. Like, there's a guy who was selling his highlight clips of him opening Pokemon cards, and
that's something I
he
want.
was making tons of money off of it. And I don't think he intended to make millions of dollars selling specific clips from a video that already exists and that is still up on his channel. Like, I don't know. I could see it possibly catching, but I don't have a lot of hope in it.
I hope this camera's on here. This is going to be one. That's my sigh. We're putting that up as an NFT, okay?
Okay.
And see if we can do anything with that.
What's the starting bid on that?
I don't know, but if anybody wants to bid, then maybe you can change my mind that this might be something
4-second clip of John sighing on episode 62 of the podcast.
Man, I got nothing on this one.
NFTs, my mind is like
I don't know. I don't
empty
know.
warehouse.
I'm just saying, caveat emptor, buyer beware. Or is that,
Buyer beware.
Yes, I hope that's the right one.
I don't know.
It's like, anyway, be cautious, okay? Take your time with this stuff. Make sure it's something that you have to have.
Gotta have that sigh of John during episode 62.
Oh, man. I don't know. Anyway, like they said, we'd like to hear from you, comments, anything else about this on the NFTs so that we can pass on any information that we may be missing or insight that we could pass on to any others. So until the next episode, thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.